Hey everyone, in this video let us discuss about all the PYQs, the most important PYQs I picked from NEET and JEE papers on the chapter very important chemical bonding. So if you have not yet watched my previous video, the link is provided in the description as well as in the comment. Please do watch it. I have done a detailed analysis on chemical bonding chapter, how exactly the questions can come and which are the important concepts that you should focus on and everything. Okay, so please do watch that video and then come to this video. So here, like I have said in the previous video analysis, that MOT is the most important concept. So that is molecular orbital theory based questions have appeared a lot in the PYQs. So when I show you the PYQs, you yourself will witness that most of the questions, most of the years, you will find from the concept called molecular orbital theory. So here, what kind of questions can be asked on molecular orbital theory? It can be relating to bond order related questions, or it can be bond energy related question, or it can be relating to the electronic configuration of molecule. Okay, right? So and also the magnetic nature, paramagnetic and diamagnetic nature of molecules. So these are the different aspects that were asked on molecular orbital theory. Okay, so here in this videos, I'm not explaining you the concept here. So I pick a question and I'll briefly discuss how you can solve a particular question and how you have to approach the question. So mainly I am teaching you the approach, how you should think about a question, how you can answer the question very easily without much confusion. So I'm not teaching you a concept. So for the concepts, if you want the concepts of the chemical bonding, or if you want the concepts of all class 11 and class 12 chemistry, I have designed a beautiful course in the homeschool application. Okay, so the courses are available for the very reasonable prices. Okay, so you will have 100% solid content. Okay, so all the concepts are explained in a very detailed way. You'll get a course in the form of recorded videos. So not only the concepts explained in a recorded video format, I have given you questions. I have solved NCERT textbook questions on all the chapters. I have given you the notes, and you'll have a lot of benefits in the course. Okay, so the people who bought our course, I mean the students who bought our course, maximum of them have witnessed the improvement in their grades as well as in the scores of competitive exams. Okay, so if you want the detailed concept clarity on every concept, please you can think of taking up our courses. So the courses link is provided in the comments as well as in the description. Please do check it out. So now if I have to go to the first question here, so look at the first question. I have taken questions from 2020 to 2025 NEET JEE all shifts. Okay, so few of the very repeated models I have selected and I'm solving in this video. So carefully observe the question here. See, just observe the way I approach the question. Okay, so if you can approach this way, you can solve the question very easily without much struggle, right? Without wasting much time for a particular question. So that is very important. Which of the following diatomic molecules does not exist under normal condition? Okay, say usually how do you decide to the questions of this sort? Which molecule exists, which molecule doesn't exist, is majorly decided on bond order, isn't it? Right? So if you get a bond order, if you have a proper bond order, you say the molecule exists. Say if you get a bond order 1 or 1.5 or 2 or 2.5, what we say? The molecule do exist. And how do you know the bond order? For that you have to write the electronic configuration, isn't it? So you have to write the electronic configuration of a molecule. And do you remember you have 14 electron species and below 14 electron species you will follow one particular sequence, and above 14 electron species you will follow another kind of sequence, right? So first you have to write the electronic configuration, then you have to calculate the bond order using the formula number of electrons in bonding orbital theory, bonding orbitals minus number of electrons in anti-bonding orbitals divided by 2. So you will use this formula, and if you get bond order value, then you say the molecule exists or does not exist, right? If the bond order is 0, if the bond order is 0, the molecule does not exist, we say, right? So if the bond order is not equal to 0, then we say the molecule exists, right? So this is the usual pattern of solving a problem. Say the first step is write the electronic configuration, second step is use the formula of bond order, and the third step is observe the value of bond order and then decide the answer whether the molecule exists or does not exist. But logically, if you think, okay, so if your logic is strong, if your fundamental is strong, you don't need to write electronic configuration, you don't need to use the formula, you don't need to look at the value, nothing. Just look over here, what are the options given, right? Say C2 molecule, yes, there can be you have C2 molecule here, and there exist bonds between carbon and carbon. Okay, O2 molecule also exists. So come from elimination method. This is not the option, this is highly existing, right? And now you have to select between C2, L2 and H2. And here, look at here, whenever you have noble gases, okay, so it's a MCQ. Noble gases are monoatomic, right? So they are monoatomic molecules, right? Right, so you'll never find noble gases as He2, Ne2, Xe2 like this. They are not in the form of molecule, they are monoatomic molecules, they are monoatomic. Okay, so in that case, how can you decide that He2 exists? It's never possible, right? See, this is a noble gas. So when noble gas is written as He2, what is that, Ne2, Xe2, it's not at all possible, because it's a very fundamental aspect that we studied from the lower classes, that noble gases are monoatomic. So based on that, you can easily decide your answer as He2, guys. Okay, so here writing electronic configuration, applying the formula of bond order, then finding out the bond order, all that is not necessary. It's a MCQ that one of the option you have to select, and here one of the option is a noble gas. Definitely noble gas cannot exist as a molecule because it's monoatomic, right? So definitely based on that logic, you can easily decide the answer as He2. Okay, so this is how easily you can approach saving lot of time during your competitive exams. Okay, yes, so that was the first question. So answer is He2. So now coming to the second question. Arrange the following carbon halogen bonds in decreasing order of bond energy. Okay, so you have you have CX molecules here. So you have halogen atoms bonded with carbon. Okay, so you have to arrange these molecules in decreasing order of bond energy. Okay, so what are the molecules given? CF is given, CCl is given, CBr is given, right? So Ci is given. So how do you decide? Guys, everywhere carbon is there. So here carbon is the central atom. Okay, so now you look at the overlap. So carbon here, 2p orbital of carbon must have overlapped with 2p orbitals of fluorine. Yes or no? Fluorine belongs to second period. Carbon also belongs to second period. Carbon second period element. Chlorine is third period element. Okay, so carbon second period element, bromine is fourth period element, and this guy is fifth period element, carbon is second period element. So here this sigma bond is formed by the overlap of 2p orbital of carbon and 2p orbital of fluorine. So when the orbital's size and shape is matching, then definitely stronger overlap you would observe. Yes or no? So stronger overlap you would observe. So stronger overlap leads to the stronger bond. Okay, strong bond, and strong bonds are very, very difficult to break down. So definitely you would observe very, very strong bond energy. So bond energy is very high. Bond energy means the strength of a bond. Okay, so the bond energy is very, very high with carbon fluorine bond, isn't it? So now here this sigma bond has formed with the help of overlap between 2p orbital and 3p orbital, isn't it? So this bond has formed due to the overlap of 2p and 4p, and here this bond has formed between overlap of 2p orbital and 5p orbital. See here the drastic difference, right? 5p the size is huge, whereas 2p the size is less. So the best overlap is always when the size and shape of the orbital matches. Here also p, here also p, shape is matching, but the size difference is huge, and you know what, definitely this overlap is less effective. So definitely you would be having least bond strength or bond energy. Okay, so what is the decreasing order? So obviously the decreasing order is like CF bond is more powerful, more stronger than CCl bond. So this is more powerful than this is more powerful than this. So which is the option you would go with? So you will definitely go with the decreasing order they are asking. So right, so the decreasing order in the sense high to low. So high bond strength is with CF, low bond strength is with CI. So CI bond can easily be broken because the bond strength is very less, because the overlap is not effective here. Okay, so why the overlap is not effective? Because the overlap has taken place between the 2p orbital of carbon and 5p orbital of iodine. See how we are connecting to a concept. So when you know the concept behind it, you can answer these questions very, very easily. Okay, so since the bond is very weak, you can break it very easily. Here the bond strength or bond energy is very high. You can't break CF bond that easily. Okay, so that is the concept. So option 1 is the answer here. Guys, hope you are liking the way we are solving the questions, right? So if you are liking this way, please let me know in the comment section. Do you want me to solve questions this way? Yes, is it helping you? So if it is helping you, if you want some more chapters to bring on in front of you solving like this, please do let me know in the comment section. Okay, and if at least 1% is giving a benefit for you, you have to like the video. That's your duty, and you have to share the video to as many people as possible. Okay, so hope this is a favor that you can do for homeschool from your side. Okay, fine. So now going on to the next question. Yes, this is also a very typical question from chemical bonding, I can say. Identify the set of molecules that have zero dipole moment among the following. Okay, so guys, zero dipole moment in the sense non-polar molecule. Okay, so here I am not explaining you what is dipole moment and etc. So for the concept, please watch the videos, okay, or just jump into the course. You will have very elaborate explanation on everything. Okay, so non-polar molecules will always have dipole moment 0. Dipole moment 0. Okay, fine. See here, how do you find out non-polar molecule? So you know what? This is connected to geometry of a molecule. Okay, so geometry or shape of a molecule. So how to predict the shape? I have done a super video on predicting the shape. Okay, so even the video link I'll give in the description. Do check it out. Okay, fine. See guys, whenever you have a perfect geometry, I'm telling you a trick now. So the trick is starting now. So whenever you have a perfect geometry. So perfect geometry means what? Perfect geometry in the sense when a molecule has got sp hybridization or sp2 hybridization, sp3 hybridization, sp3d hybridization, sp3d2 hybridization without lone pairs. Without lone pairs. Okay. Without lone pairs. Okay. And if all side atoms are same, if all side atoms are same, okay, then it will have zero dipole moment, zero dp. Dp means dipole moment or dm. Okay, so let me call dipole moment as dm. Okay, so when a molecule can have zero dipole moment, when a molecule has got perfect geometry, that means these hybridization without any lone pair, and if all side atoms are same. That is the trick that you need to know to check out the dipole moment. So you no need to draw the figure, put a vector, go see which direction it is going and then deciding dipole moment. You know, that's a usual way, right? So all that is not required. Okay, so just follow this trick. So now look at here, BF3 has got the perfect geometry, sp2 hybridization. Okay, without any lone pair. CO2 has got sp hybridization without any lone pair. CCl4 has got sp3 hybridization. Carbon atom do not have any lone pair. Okay, and side atoms are same. All side atoms are F only. Here all side atoms are oxygen only. All side atoms are Cl only, isn't it? So obviously option 1 is the set of molecule which have got a zero dipole moment, isn't it? And if you look at the other options 2, if you see, it has got sp3 hybridization but one lone pair is there. And this also has got sp3 hybridization but 2 lone pairs are there. So what is our condition? Perfect geometry without any lone pair. So here lone pair containing molecules are there. So here also this has got lone pair, this has got lone pair. So in all other options, you know, one or the other molecule has got lone pairs. But here the central atom B does not have any lone pair. Central atom C does not have any lone pair. Central atom C does not have any lone pairs. Okay, so hope you all know how to check the lone pairs, right? So how do you check whether a molecule has got lone pair or not here? So very simple. Okay, say for example CH4 is there. Okay, so carbon is the central atom. What is the valence electrons present in carbon? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many side atoms? 4. So all the electrons must have been used. So do you have any lone pair? No lone pair. No lone pair. Okay, say for example XCF2 is there. What is the central atom? Xenon. Xenon belongs to 18th group. How many valence electrons does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many side atoms? 2. So 2 must have been used. So do we have lone pair? Yes, this is one lone pair, second lone pair, third lone pair. So using this trick you can always check whether a central atom has got lone pair or not. Okay, so that way you can just check and see these guys do not have any lone pair, perfect geometry, side atoms also same. So that matches with our option, isn't it, with our question. So set of molecules which have zero dipole moment is all these molecules which are there in option 1. Okay, yes. So that is all about that question. Coming to the next question. The hybridization of nitrogen in NH3, NO2 minus and NO3 minus respectively. So hope you all know the trick to find hybridization, right? So I have explained in the concept videos which are there in my course, and also chemical bonding chapter I gave it for free. I created a free course on chemical bonding. That link also I'll provide. So if you go through the videos, you will find the trick that I have given to find the hybridization. Okay, so please do watch that video, you will understand. So here briefly I will explain. So very important for any molecule. Okay, so for any molecule you just find out number of lone pairs present and add number of sigma bonds. Add to number of sigma bonds. Okay, you just have to do this little calculation. Okay, so if you get number 2, then it will have sp hybridization. If you get number 3, sp2 hybridization. Number 4, sp3 hybridization. Number 5, sp3 dehybridization, and so on. Okay, so let's apply this trick to all the molecules. Okay, so first molecule is NH3. So take out the central atom. So this is the central atom. How many valence electrons are there in nitrogen? You identify. Nitrogen belongs to 15th group. So it must have had 5 valence electrons. So 5 valence electrons, put it in the form of dot. Now how many side atoms? 3. 3 means 3 electrons has been used. Okay. So now apply the formula. Number of lone pairs. How many lone pairs? After 3 electrons being used to make a covalent bonding with 3 side atoms, how many lone pairs are left? 1 lone pair. Plus how many sigma bonds have been formed? 1, 2, 3. So 3 sigma bonds. So 4 you got as the answer. So if you get the answer 4, what is the hybridization? Hybridization is sp3. So this NH3 has got sp3 hybridization. Okay. So now let us go for NO2 minus. Okay. So I'll just erase all these things. Okay. NO2 minus, right? Yes. Nitrogen, again 5 valence electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you have minus, add 1 more electron extra. If you have plus, remove that electron from the valence electrons. Okay, so 1 minus is there, I'm adding 1 more. Oxygen, each oxygen will always take up 2 electrons for bonding, because with oxygen, most of the times double bond is formed with central atom. Okay, so here 2 oxygens are there, it will consume 4 valence electrons. So now how many lone pairs are left? 1. And how many sigma bonds? Out of 2 bonds formed with oxygen, 1 remains sigma, 1 remains pi. So here also this is sigma, this is pi. You have to count only sigma bonds. So how many sigma bonds? 2. So what is the answer you got? 3. 3 means what is the hybridization? sp2. So NO2 molecule has got the hybridization sp2. Okay. So now what is the other molecule we have? The other molecule is NO3. So NO3 molecule I am calculating. NO3 minus nitrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But 1 minus is there. So 1 more. So 3 oxygen. Each oxygen is taken up. Each oxygen is taking 2 electrons. So lone pairs are 0 here. How many sigma bonds? 1, 2, 3, 3. So answer is 3. 3 means it also has got sp2 hybridization. So this also has got sp2. So which is the option you have? sp3, sp2, sp2. sp3, sp2, sp2. So option 1 is the correct answer. Okay, so this is how, if you know the trick to find out hybridization, it's very easy to solve such questions. So here you have to master the trick to find the hybridization. That's it. Okay, so that's all about this question. Bonding in which of the following diatomic molecules becomes stronger upon removal of 1 electron? Guys, this question, it's difficult to understand itself. Okay, but if you can understand it, you can crack the code so easily. Okay, so this was the question asked in 2021 exam JEE mains, June 25 shift 1. Okay, and the similar question has reappeared. I mean, not the same question, similar model has reappeared even in 2024 exam also. Okay, see, yes, I will discuss this question in the next video. Okay, stay tuned and share the video, like the video, and wait for my next video for the next questions which are really amazing. Okay, for the full course that you want, please check it out, the links that were given in the description. Okay, so see you in the next video. Stay tuned.